Hey guys! Hey! First, let me just thank everybody that's been tuning in, that's been showing support, been showing love, been giving me feedback. I really appreciate you guys. You make this more fun for me, and I get a sense and a feel for I'm not just doing it for myself, I'm doing it for you guys. So I love the interaction, and I just want to say thank you in advance. And let's jump into this week's video. So this week's video is going to be called What to Expect When You're Adulting. Kind of playing off the what to expect when you're expecting adulting. You feeling what I'm picking up? Alright. Okay, so I wanted to keep this video light, funny, but also informative for those who really don't know what to expect. The younger generation out there, the generation, my generation, I'm in my 20s, I'm 25 right now, but some people still at my age don't know what to expect, still are trying to figure things out. And yeah, so I just wanted to share my insight, my personal experiences, my journey, and maybe that can help some of you guys out there. And yeah, oh, do you like my new shirt? Okay, so let's get started. So what to expect when you're adulting. First things first, what is expected of you when you are an adult? You gotta get out of your parents' house. That's expected. Like, leave the nest. Bye. Like, you gotta go. You got to get out. I moved out of my mother's house by my own, at my own will. I was 20 years old when I moved out of my mom's house, and at first it was a little bit scary, but I'm so glad I did it. I ended up moving with my now husband, and you know, it was exciting. It was such an exciting experience. I was ready, and I just took a huge step out on faith, and I'm so glad I did. I don't advise my journey for everybody. Don't make the same moves I make. Like, it's different strokes for different folks, definitely, but my experience happened to work out. And I remember my mother telling me, you know, after a couple years that I was gone, that she was actually glad that I chose to make my move that way, because it not only taught me independence, but I didn't have to so much rely on what I was comfortable with all my life. You know, I was born and raised in Buffalo, New York, and until that point, my whole 20 years, I traveled, but I never got to experience life really outside of Buffalo. So it was a great experience for me, and yeah, that's definitely expected of you. Get out of your parents' house, especially if you want to be treated as an adult. You can't be an adult without your parents say so if you're in their house. That's just, I'm sorry. You want to do adult things, you got to make adult moves. Next, what's expected of you? Also, expect credit card offers. They're going to hunt you down, especially, like, I remember getting my first credit card offer in the mail when I was about 17 years old, when I first graduated high school, and I'm like, oh, what's this? What is this about? Yeah, they're hunting on you. Like, they're not hunting, they're preying on the youth. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. Credit cards have pros and cons to them. If you have not yet earned, if you have not yet got a credit card, I definitely will say do your research. Get helpful advice from a responsible adult that knows what they're talking about, because it's adults out here in this world that have horrible credit, do horrible things. They're not responsible with their money and their debt. But all debt isn't bad debt. That's what my mom taught me. All debt isn't bad debt. What I have learned with my experiences with credit cards, what was I when I first got my credit card? I got my first credit card in 2015. That was 2 years ago. So I was 23. That's when I got my first credit card. And I really knew zero info about credit cards at that time. So I looked to my mom. My mom is very responsible in that way, finances. That's my go-to person. If not her, my husband. They're very good with finances. And I was just kind of starting out. So yeah, you want to get information about the interest rates, what an interest rate is. Yeah, so basically, if you don't know the gist of the credit card is I can buy it now and pay for it later. And you have to make sure, cannot stress enough, make sure that you are paying your credit cards on time. And if you do not have extra money to put towards your credit card, if you're constantly swiping it, make sure you're always making the minimum payment. That is going to show the banks, you know, everything out there that is linked to your credit, that you are capable of making on-time payments and keeping your credit score and credit card payments afloat. So yeah, you're expected. That's expected of you when you're adulting. Credit cards. Next is, and that goes hand in hand, money management. You are expected to manage your own money as an adult. What helps me and my husband, we have a bill book that we go to each month. We write down our expenses and we log in, you know, what we have to pay, when it's due, the date that we pay it, our confirmation numbers. We write all of that down and we do it every month. And that helps us manage our funds. And I think that that is such a helpful tip to pass on into I think that is such a helpful tip to pass on to you guys. Definitely, if you're a writer, if it helps you better organize things by writing things down, I suggest getting a bill book. It's very, very, very helpful, very dependable and reliable. Next, what you're expected to either pay rent or mortgage. 9 times out of 10, people in their 20s that are just moving out, they think, okay, well, I got to get an apartment. I got to pay rent. And that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Once you're stepping out, eventually you want to step into a homeowner's world. I think that's the ultimate goal, because when you're paying rent, you're paying somebody else. You know, that money isn't going towards anybody but the landlord, the building. You know, you're blowing your own money. So why not invest in something for you and look into becoming a homeowner? Because when you pay your mortgage every month, that's coming back. I mean, essentially it's going to the bank, but it's going towards making payments to something you own. We bought our first home and we became homeowners in 2014, right around Valentine's Day. That was kind of like our Valentine's Day gift to my husband and I. We were just so happy when we finally got that process done. It was a bit of a journey, but it was so well worth it. And nothing feels better than coming home to your home every day and you can say, this is my house. You know, I don't gotta pay nobody rent. This is mine. You can't, well, you can get kicked out if you don't pay your mortgage. But yeah, like I said, that's a separate video. But essentially, our house, our rules, our way is so worth it. Next, what you're expected, going to college or work or both. You know, I know a lot of people out there that are in school that have a job that are doing both the same, but that's expected of you. You got to make a living. You got to make something of yourself. So college, you can Hopefully, if you are in your parents' home and you are a full-time student and they're supporting you, you know, you can always do that, and that's always a great way to start out. For some who are just ready to get out into the world, I would say part-time students and going to work. But for me personally, I went to a trade school. I went to get my cosmetology certification before I moved out of my parents' home, and that was essentially my backup plan. And then I went straight into working because I needed the money. So yeah, that's expected. Also, it's not really an expectation, but it kind of goes with becoming an adult. Relationships and the single life. Really, that's your personal preference. You can be single, you can be in a relationship, but when you get older, you kind of think, okay, well, it's time to call something my own. Time to settle down. And some of you close friends and family that's close to me, you know that I am technically still a newlywed. We have been married, my husband and I, for 8 months now, and could not have been a better decision. It's wonderful. Love it. So what kind of goes hand in hand with the whole marriage thing? What's expected of you once you're married? I know women get hounded. When are you gonna have a baby? When are you gonna give me grandkids? When is this gonna happen? Like, can I just live my life, please? Yeah, but I guess that's somewhat expected of you when you're married. People are gonna ask when you guys are gonna start a family. I could say, and I can pretty much say my husband's explanation is the same as mine, the same response. Just go with the flow. You and your husband, don't put a timeline on it. Just go with the flow. My husband and I, we talk about starting a family when we want to start a family all the time. I'm giving myself, and I know it's kind of a contradiction. I'm saying I have to give yourself a timeline, but I kind of am. At least before I turn 30. I'm 25 now. I got a 5-year window. Just live your life, but yeah, don't get pressured into the baby talk. Oh, so many babies, so little time. Anyway. So yeah, that is gonna wrap up this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want me to do anything that you liked in this video, that you want me to do a separate video that kind of goes in depth with one of the topics, I will definitely do that. Leave that in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate you. Much love always, and I will see you guys next time. Oh! Don't forget to subscribe. Ding. Thank you. I love you guys.